breaking the law this morning on BT. Never on BT, for that matter. We have the VPD's one and only Brian Montague, Constable. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
We really appreciate you being here because we want to talk more about this unbelievable story that has really hit in the last couple of days, but it actually happened 7 months ago. Tell us about this Craigslist attack and what we're looking for.
Yeah, a very sad story. It was a 59-year-old man who was selling some items on Craigslist, and something he had done for quite some time. Mostly inexpensive items, trinkets. He did have some jewelry on there, but it was costume jewelry, inexpensive jewelry. He had someone respond to one of the ads, at least this is the theory of our investigators, and the wrong person came to his door, beat him unconscious, and fled with some items that he stole from the house.
This is the suspect?
Yeah, so that's a suspect and an example of the hat we believe he was wearing.
And how common is this? I mean, there are thousands of transactions that happen on Craigslist. I mean, this is a severe and extreme case of a Craigslist transaction gone bad. But how common is this, do you see?
Yeah, so something like this is uncommon, thankfully, where we see something this violent. It has happened in the past. One of the more notable ones was the Mark Rosen homicide in 2004. It wasn't a Craigslist incident, but same sort of idea. It was an ad in a newspaper selling a diamond ring.
So when people are considering selling anything on Craigslist, the Vancouver Police Department has now said, you can do that transaction right in front of our headquarters,
yeah,
right?
We don't want you bringing down couches and armoires and things like that. But if you have an expensive item, if you have what we would consider a high-risk item for sale, jewelry would be one of those. There's nothing that says that you can't come down and do that transaction in front of the police station or in the lobby. We would obviously that's not convenient for everybody. What we would recommend is just find a really good public place, a mall, a coffee shop, to do this type of transaction in. Of course, the police station is a public place, so if it's convenient for you, then feel free to do that.
What's the biggest mistake people make?
Yeah, let's go there first.
The biggest mistake is inviting someone into their home that they don't know. Obviously, everyone on Craigslist is someone you don't know. And being the only person there. So if it's something that you have to do at your home, the item is too big to be walking around with, have either your spouse or a friend or someone come by to make sure there's more than just one of you there.
And along the lines of mistakes and things we should do, what type of information should be exchanged to make sure you can still track that person down? Because there is a trust factor when it comes to Craigslist and a reluctance to share all types of information.
There is, and some of the things that we see that are really common are with like concert tickets and event tickets, where we see a lot of fraud. So we do see the robberies and the thefts, but we see a lot of fraud too. And if someone's not willing to provide you with some basic identification, a driver's license, or take a picture with you, then those are red flags that should be raised, and just move on to the next seller or buyer.
A friend of mine was selling something on Craigslist, didn't have someone with her when someone came to purchase a chair in her house, and she said it got very awkward. It took about an hour to get this person out of her house. At some point there, is it okay to hit 911?
Absolutely. If you feel that your personal safety is being threatened, yeah, pick up the phone and call 911. It's actually not a bad idea to have the phone in your hand while you're meeting with these people. Again, best case scenario is you have a friend with you to make sure. But yeah, there's some interesting people out there, and it can be difficult to get them out of your house. And of course, they know where you live now. If there is a problem or down the road, yeah, it's a bit of a recipe for disaster in some cases. But that said, there's thousands of transactions that take place every day without any problem. I personally have used Craigslist. I will continue to use it.
You have a gun, though.
Yeah.
There's that little.
That's that point of authority.
That gun right there.
Point of authority. Really quickly, I mean, you mentioned the concert tickets. Should we ever buy concert tickets on Craigslist? I mean, U2's in town tonight. Some people looking for that great deal. What's your advice on this?
Every concert, every sporting event we have in the city of Vancouver, we see either fraudulently purchased tickets that are sold to people or just fake tickets in general. And we have people go to the doors and they get turned away. The only surefire way to make sure you get into the concert and get into that hockey game is to buy from a legitimate retailer.
Okay.
Great tips. Thank you, Constable Brian Montague, Vancouver Police Department. But the most important takeaway from this particular interview is do not use Craigslist without having somebody else present. I think that is the #1 safety message.
That's a good tip. Just do things in public places.
Public places, have someone with you. Okay.